And good morning. Like yesterday, I had a long wait. I woke up again just yesterday. It was 1 minute past 3. Today it was almost 5 after 3. And that's without a clock. I don't try to get up at that time. That's just when I wake up. Anyway, good morning again. Yesterday's video has already had over 1,500 views recorded on YouTube. And I never know if they record them all. Sometimes I feel they don't. But in any case, there was also, between Facebook and YouTube, there were over 400 comments. I probably got, in the last 24 hours, if I didn't get over 1,000 emails, I'd be surprised. That was certainly a video that hit a lot of hot buttons for people all over the place. Anyway, today's video is going to be a response to yesterday's video. The title I gave is 2012, Ending the Invalidation of Human Emotion. And the little blurb I wrote, yesterday's video broke all records as far as comments and likes. I said probably in the blurb, but I think without a doubt it did. Anyway, it pushed a lot of buttons for a lot of people, and comments were all over the place. Many were appalled that I exhibited anger. Did they do that to Jesus too, when he cursed the fig tree and chased out the money changers? I'll say again what I have said many times. The only negative emotions are those that remain unexpressed. Repressed emotion causes cancer. For the most part, the comments were supportive. Many were preachy. And why would anybody preach at me? After all, I don't preach to anybody else, do I? And that's a joke. Quite a few people expressed concern that we don't accomplish anything with anger. I beg to differ. I totally beg to differ. I have been doing emotional healing workshops since January 1994. And I have watched as people express their emotions honestly and are given permission to validate what they feel. Because our culture has invalidated feelings labeled negative. Somebody dies and you feel grief and maybe even anger or maybe even rage. But God forbid that you should actually express what you feel. Then you're persona non grata. You are looked down upon by those who religiously keep their emotions in check. In fact, in the Thursday Mystics in Training group a couple of weeks or so ago, the minister there, Ron Fox, and I shouldn't be naming people, but he shared the story of how he did a funeral for someone that he cared about very much, and he broke down and wept. And he said that he was trained in ministerial school that that's an absolute no-no. You do not show emotion. That's how our culture teaches us. We do it especially to boys. Boys don't cry, or big boys don't cry. How many times have parents said that to their children? Well, I'm sorry, big boys do cry. Men cry. In fact, Jesus wept. So even masters cry. And even masters, as I said in the blurb, get angry when they see injustice happening, when they see people suffering, or even when they are simply impatient, as in the case of the fig tree. It wasn't time for figs to be on the tree. Still, it got the curse of a master, and the fig tree withered and died by the next day. So the story is told. Doesn't matter if it's true or not. You see, it doesn't matter if you believe in ETs or don't believe in ETs. None of that matters. What matters is, how do you really feel? Because we're here, it is my contention, to experience emotion. And emotion must be in motion. That means it must not be suppressed or repressed, because as I said in the blurb, it causes cancer. Now, it may not be physical cancer, it may not be the diagnosed disease of cancer, but it's cancer of the spirit, it's cancer of the soul. We are here to let the energy move through us. And in so doing, that produces the power to actually change the circumstances that we are angry about. I remember doing a workshop in North Carolina, probably 2001 in the summer. It was probably July or August 2001, because I had my current automobile, which I purchased in May of 2001. And I remember I got rear-ended by someone that wasn't paying attention, not badly, but bumped me, and the marks are still on my car, these almost 12 years or 11 years later. But anyway, I did that workshop, and what came up for me was absolute rage. And I didn't feel comfortable expressing the rage in the workshop. This was not an emotional healing workshop. It was, I don't even remember what it was about. But I didn't feel it was appropriate, so I withdrew from the workshop and went to my room. And the workshop leader was a woman that wasn't even 5 foot tall, sort of like Dr. Mary. And she came and got me during a break, and I went outside with everybody else. And she got in my face. Can you imagine somebody under 5 foot tall getting in the face of somebody 6'4"? But she did. And she brought out the rage. And I'm sure people heard me a quarter of a mile away, because it wasn't whispering. Do you understand my meaning? It was rage. And it purged me. So that when I went back to work that week following the workshop, everyone asked, "What happened to you? Your energy is so different." Why? Why was it perceived by others as different? And it was perceived by me as different. I got rid of all of that pent-up emotion that I was carrying inside of myself, which if I had not released it, it would have probably done physical damage to me, and it was already doing mental and spiritual damage, because I wasn't allowing it. I was invalidating and stopping the flow of that which is made to flow. That's what emotion is. It's energy in motion. And we must clear it out. We all have injustices that we perceive. We all have pain that's within our bodies. And it is not only appropriate, it is essential that we as a human family start doing the primal scream for the injustices that have been heaped upon us generation after generation throughout our long and storied histories. We have witnessed the inhumanity of humans to each other, and the inhumanity of humans to animals, and the inhumanity of humans to the very planet from which they derive their life, the very planet that sustains us. We have damaged it wantonly. And it's time to get angry about such things. And people that say, well, anger doesn't change anything. No, anger expressed changes everything. Because it allows the flow. It unstops the blockages and loosens them up. In response to the video yesterday, people have started a prayer group, if you will, an event this Thursday at 7 o'clock around the world. People are going to be praying for my situation with my house, that the bank, and more specifically the lawyer, have been trying to steal for a long time. Now, the current bank is PNC, which is headquartered in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I invite you to contact them at the headquarters. Contact the CEO and the COO and the CFO. I did, and I will be following up on that contact before the end of this week. Contact the lawyer, because they can remove it. The courts are criminal. The courts have a vested interest in stealing as many houses and properties as they can. Now, it's not that I didn't pay a mortgage, because I never had a mortgage to pay on this house. That is the truth. The day that I signed the papers, the day of closing, July the 8th, 2005, this house was 100% paid for. Now, I got the money as a bridge loan from on my trust on a different property. But you see, the other lawyers involved in the lawsuit won't let the bank, because the banks made a lot of mistakes. The mortgage company made a lot of mistakes, and they didn't do things properly at the very beginning. And so the other lawyers won't allow the bank's lawyer to have any part of that trust property. They have basically stood up against it. So the only thing they can come after is my house, which never had a mortgage on it. And yet they're attaching my house to something that was not in any contract ever. Not ever. Not ever. And people are praying that somehow this crazy, insane foreclosure sale, and that's the other thing, my house has never been foreclosed upon. There has never been any proceeding in which I was notified or present that was called a foreclosure hearing. Why didn't they call me? Because I know how the freaking things work. And they're all fraud, all of them. Even if people get in a mortgage that they're in over their head and they can't pay, it's still fraud, because information is withheld. Mortgage contracts, commercial mortgage contracts, are all invalid due to fraud. All of them. 100%. And that's the truth. And that's what's going to bring down the financial system that we built on, because the whole thing has been built on fraud. And if that doesn't make people angry, then there's something wrong with people. And we can bring it down, but we have to get mad. And you say, Ron, that's not very spiritual. And I say to you, it's very spiritual. It's very spiritual to be human and to own your humanity. It's very spiritual to allow expression of your rage and displeasure with injustice. Until we do, the injustice will continue to reign. As far as channeled messages go, a lot of comments were about the channeled messages. I have long been bolstered with hope by the channeled messages. Ultimately, I believe, as one video, somebody sent me a video which was very good, we don't channel other entities. That's BS. We can only channel our own higher self, and it's all filtered through our personality. Even when the Bible was written, it was channeled information, and the Koran, and any other holy book. It's all channeled information. But what are we channeling? We're channeling that part of us that is not in the physical realm, visible in the physical realm, but it's present. We live in that energy field, and it's channeling the spiritual energy. And that's very real. Very real. And as far as wanting ETs to save us, hell no. That's not their job. But it is their job to help us. It is the job of that invisible part of ourselves to merge with us and empower us as humans. Because the kingdom of heaven is not some place that we disappear to and are rescued to go somewhere else. The earth is God's, or the Lord's, and the fullness thereof. Quoting a Bible verse, I don't know where it's found. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. The meek shall inherit the earth. That's another Bible verse. Who are the meek? Are the meek the passive weaklings? No. Jesus was meek and lowly at heart. He expressed anger. He was enraged at the financial system and the financial practices of bringing the money system into the temple. That's why he kicked out the money changers. This is the root of all evil in our world. Having money changers in the temple and not allowing ourselves to express our emotions honestly. I love you, and I thank you for listening. And there's more that I could say, but I've already gone over 18 minutes, and that's long enough. May you ponder what I have shared with you, and may you take it to heart. And I give you permission, and the Spirit of God gives you permission to be fully human and to express whatever it is you feel. Just don't use violence. Expression is not violence, it's expression. Thank you for listening. Namaste.